state?
Yes, sir.
Can you understand a plea of true or finding of true on my behalf? I can revoke your community supervision, sentence you up to 2 years in a state jail facility.
Yes, sir.
The state.
Your Honor, proceeding on violation of condition number 2, that on or about the 23rd day of October 2019 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, or supervision officer, and/or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
Proceeding on violation of condition number 2, that on or about the 31st day of October 2019 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, submitted to a diluted sample in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
Proceeding on violation of condition number 2, on or about the 23rd day of December 2019 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, submitted to a diluted sample in violation of condition number 2.
Okay, how do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
Proceeding on violation condition number 2, that on or about the 21st day of January 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, that in and there failed to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and/or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
Proceeding on violation of condition number 2, that on or about the 5th day of February 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, submitted to a diluted sample in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
We would waive and abandon condition 14, proceeding on violation of condition number 16, that on or about the 10th day of February 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Tiante Marquise Sedell, that then and there failed to comply with the instructions of the Bexar County CSCD intensive outpatient as directed by the head or authorized personnel of that agency, in that the defendant failed to attend his appointment in violation of condition number 16.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, sir.
There is no agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the recommendation from the state?
Recommendation from the state, Your Honor, would be to adjudicate his guilt and reform the judgment to a standard probation. We would request at least 2 years, Judge. He expired in July of 2020, leaving the underlying sentence to your discretion. And we would also request that as a condition of that probation, he remain in custody and participate in SATIF.
When did it expire? July, what date of 2020?
July 4th of 2020.
Okay, so we can't extend him at this point. It'd have to be like either revoked or term and sat or straight, you're saying?
Straight is what we're requesting, yes. We're requesting a reformation.
Defense counsel, what are you asking for before we do arguments or witnesses?
Judge, actually, we are asking for the court to hold the MTR in abeyance, to reset it for 60 days and allow Mr. Sedell the opportunity, when we have some extenuating circumstances we will inform the court about, to show the court that he can, within the next 60 days, do everything that the court is asking of him at this time.
Okay, all right. Any witnesses from state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Defense counsel, any witnesses?
We'd call Mr. Sedell.
Okay, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. So help me.
Okay, go ahead, defense.
Okay. Mr. Sedell, state your full name for the record.
Tiante Marquise Sedell.
Okay. And Mr. Sedell, you were originally placed on probation in July of 2018 on a deferred adjudication for a possession less than 1 gram. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that amount of time, would you agree you have not been a good probationer for Judge Castro?
Ultimately, I made foolish mistakes that would not be a good representation of my character today.
And you pled true to the violations that Mr. D'Amico read into the record on your motion to revoke, yes?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Since you were placed on probation, have you had a child?
Yes, I have.
And prior to your being arrested, or let me rephrase, do you have a job waiting for you if you are able to get out of jail?
Yes, I turned myself in, and before that, I had made preparations to, hoping that you guys would allow me to just make myself true and prove that I can re-enter society properly and just follow the rules and do what needs to be done, so that way I can raise a man and be a man myself.
Are you asking the court to defer and hold in abeyance this motion to revoke, knowing that the court would have the full range of punishment with which to punish you in 60 days if he so chose, in order for you to show the court that you can get into the program that you're supposed to, the outpatient program as previously recommended, and do all of your conditions as they are requested of you? In other words, you're not going to dilute any samples. You're going to give UAs when they ask you to. You're going to provide proof of employment. You're going to do your community service hours. You're going to pay your fines and fees.
Yes, ma'am, exactly that.
Is there anything else you would like to let Judge Castro know?
Not necessarily, because I don't want to talk you guys' ears off. I did, sadly, I had another representative that I was hoping would possibly be able to show up in the Zoom court today, just to help speak for me in terms of my exemplary behavior that I've been able to exude, and not only but that, just some of the cooperation that I've had with the court that has allowed me to get to where I am today by, my behavior and the grace of God, allowed me to just get another chance. But aside from that, I don't believe so.
What is your level of education, Mr. Seidel?
Currently, it's just a high school diploma, but I'll definitely be getting into college soon.
That we'll pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, before I pass, how many MTRs is this state? How many?
This is the second MTR, Judge.
Second MTR, and what happened? It expired July 20th.
So on the first MTR, Judge, had been filed and amended in June of 2019, was disposed of in August of 2019. It was amended to include the intensive outpatient program and sentenced to a jail sanction of 5 days credit.
No, what happened though from the last MTR, the second MTR that's, you said he's been expired July 20th of last year. Like, was he absconded? Was it just reset because of COVID?
The court summary, Judge, indicates that he has not reported since the MTR was filed.
When was that?
So that was February of 2020. Mr. D'Amico's right. It was filed February of 2020, and Mr. Seidel turned himself in July of 2021.
July 2021. Okay. Let's see. Unfortunately, Mr. Seidel, you've been gone that long, and the law allows me to extend or within that 1 year of the expiration, which would have been early July of this year, to give you that other extension, or and I just don't feel appropriate to term you unsat with being gone that long. Second MTR, all these violations. But the state does make a fair recommendation. Instead of me just sending you to prison, I'm going to go ahead and find you guilty, reform the judgment, sentence you to 2 years in a state jail facility, suspend that, place you on 2 years community supervision. And July, you've been in since July. What day did he turn himself in?
Let's see, Judge, I apologize. I just have July of 2021, but if you give me 1 second, I might be able to tell.
Or maybe the clerk's
July 14th.
July 14th. Okay, so you've already been in there in 2 weeks. I'm not going to leave you in jail any longer, so you should be getting out today. But you want to finish this up and not end up with 2 years in a state jail facility. Okay, so hopefully you get out today, and let's get him back on track. All right, you're going to meet a probation officer in the breakout